In today's video, we're going to talk about how M&A professionals can use AI to source amazing proprietary and off-market deals, regardless of industry competition, regardless of deal size, and regardless of market conditions. In this video, I'll go over the same AI systems that we've used at my firm to facilitate over 355 million in transaction volume, and that my buy-side firm has, used to partner with over 100 private equity firms and uses AI to send deals to these partners. And then finally, the same AI systems that we've used last year to scale over 15 IBs in the lower middle market. So without further ado, let's dive into it. To start, I wanted to emphasize the point that leveraging AI for outbound deal origination trumps all other versions of sourcing deals. Right? Let's look at referrals. Great to have, but what happens when third-party referrals, become unpredictable? What happens when the market dries up? With outbound deal origination, your numbers. You know that if, hey, I'm engaging with X amount of business owners to get an opportunity, I just have to make this a numbers game and replicate that number every single month. And boom, I know my numbers and I can forecast. Number two is, with referrals, it can be unpredictable. What industry, what size company you're going to get. With, outbound deal origination, you can define that criteria. Hey, I only want to go after blue collar services, 5 million EBITDA and above. Let me do that instead of, hoping that a referral comes to the door that fits that criteria. And like I said earlier in the video, using AI outbound deal origination, well, it works regardless of deal size, industry competition, and market conditions. And I believe the reason why is, what other form of sourcing deals can you basically engage every relevant business owner that fits your criteria, right? If you're doing that, you're guaranteeing that you're going to drive deals. So I divide outbound deal origination, the process, into three steps that all use AI. Number one is account building and research, right? We want to identify every single company that matches our criteria and do research on them because, in number two, we're going to use personalized outreach. That's one-to-one, that looks very manual to engage these opportunities and start that conversation. And then finally is scale, right? If you can get the right message in front of, a business owner that fits your criteria and, start a conversation, it all becomes about scale. How can you scale this up with that winning formula to drive, infinite, if you will, opportunities? So hopping into company research, this is really something, I pride myself and my firm on that I think is a huge separation. I see a lot of firms out there just want to rely on PitchBook, right? You pay your 16K and, you only want to rely on PitchBook for data. But I would argue that niche databases are much better to use, right? I see a lot of investment banks or private equity firms all reaching out to the same leads on PitchBook. I would rather go after leads that, no one else is reaching out to. So some databases I like that are pretty niche, for their specific use case could be something like ThomasNet for manufacturing, GetLaca for SaaS. And then if you have any relevant portfolio companies and you want to, source add-ons, Ocean.io is a great tool. You can plug in that portfolio company and it will shoot out companies that are very similar that could be, very strategic and synergistic for add-ons. So I love expanding, the use of tools out of PitchBook into these more affordable options and more niche options. So, we can be different than the competition. Then the next step is, okay, we have all this company research, right? Let's transform these companies and do research on them. So at scale, I use a tool like clay.com to automate account research on every single company that I pull. So let's say I pull 10,000 blue collar services. Well, I'm going to use clay.com within 5 to 30 minutes to automate all the research on these accounts. What we're going to do is we're going to pull all relevant data, right? I'm going to prompt AI in clay.com. It uses AI to think like an analyst, to do research on its growth, the company's case studies, the company's reviews, press releases, and any unique value that it can find. And boom, within, 5 minutes to 30 minutes, it's, done, and used AI to do research on these companies that would take, an analyst going through thousands of different companies, doing manual outreach, costing you a lot of time. and, potentially money on salaries right there. So that's how we do company research, right? We have all companies that fit your criteria, that are not getting spammed by other investment bankers and private equity firms, and we have all relevant data on it. So now we can jump into personalized messaging. And the step about pulling that data on case studies, reviews, press releases, well, we're going to use that in our outreach right here. So when I do my outreach, I like to think, all right, if I was writing this business owner a manual email where I had all the time in the world to draft this and get him to open it, how would I structure that email? And then I want to, reconstruct that and make it automated using AI to match that. So, the best thing in the world is we have all of this data right here on growth, case studies, reviews, press releases. I can call that out directly. So we've sent over 1 million outreaches. We have, tons and tons of data on what works. So here is, kind of the approach I like to take for the buy side and the sell side. So if you're a private equity firm, the approach I like to take is a personalized compliment. This is showing them that we've researched their company. This is not an empty inquiry, and we are genuinely reaching out to them. Number two is I'm going to reach out with a personalized reason on why we are interested in potentially acquiring their company, right? We're going to use AI to build both of these, the personalized compliment and the personalized reason on why we are interested, and see, synergies for, a great acquisition there. Then one sentence, short, brief, track record on your firm, and a call to action, pushing for a call. Then for the sell side, I find investment bankers often to be pretty stubborn with this, and only wanting to reach out with their accolades and, what they've done. But again, it's about the business owner we're reaching out to. So I've tested tons and tons of data on this, and what always works the best is reaching out with general interest of similar companies, right? So let's say we're reaching out to an HVAC company. An example of this would be, hey, we're noticing a lot of, market interest for similar HVAC companies in the, Tampa, Florida area, right? That is how we like to go with general buyer interest. But anyway, we're starting with the personalized compliment based on the research we pulled above. Then we're going into the general buying interest, along with more personalization there as why we think, it fits that. And then we're going to do a quick brief on your track record / your value prop, right? So, for example, a value prop of an IB could be we help business owners sell for the highest valuation to the right strategic buyer. And then a value added call to action, like I would be happy to share market insights. I would be happy to go over valuations we're seeing in the market. So, both of these are very proven. Very proven. I mentioned last year on the sell side with investment banks, we scaled over 15. And this, really worked well for us. Then finally, we have that well-oiled machine where we're pulling thousands of companies, doing research on them and getting these, automated but very personalized one-to-one messaging out. It all becomes about scale, right? If you're doing this, you will drive opportunities. This is guaranteed to drive opportunities. So it all becomes about how many opportunities can you handle? And you can achieve infinite scale with this, right? So, if you're a one-man shop, you can be seeing the volume that a large firm sees. You can have that much deal flow. And really, it all becomes about how can we be smart about qualifying and making those initial introductions, once we set the call. So you can do it two ways. First, you could do it over email. You can even use AI for this to qualify the business owner over email to make sure they have intent on selling, to make sure they fit your EBITDA criteria for businesses that you want to talk to. Or you could hire out someone to take 10, 15-minute calls with these business owners as intros. We set this for 2 investment banks that we were working with, where we bought them a team member to take these calls. And we see that firms, can be very specific with wanting to hire, very expensive talent, who are too overly qualified. But for this, we've seen outsourced talent being a great way to plug in. They just have to take that 10-minute call and find out if there is a fit there. So that's how we've been scaling. That's how we've been scaling M&A firms. I would be happy to, discuss this further. If you want to get in contact with me, feel free to shoot me an email at the email address below, or, book a call on my website. But remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Going to be building a lot more of these videos and specific workflows, really, showing you behind the door of how we build these workflows, what it looks like, the metrics we get for this, and how you can implement the same thing. So until next one, thanks for watching.